So this video is the 9th video in our self series of videos. So as you've kind of picked up on, especially if you've seen the last 8 videos already posted, I am slowly starting to work uploading those onto YouTube, my YouTube channel. If you're wanting to see them all in order or whatever, they kind of build up on top of each other, but so just a real quick foundation for those people who are new here to this page is that Fight is actually a book series. It's a short novella book series that also has a mission beyond that, trying to help mental health awareness within the veteran community. Of course, veterans aren't the only ones who can be affected by mental health, but then we have these self-series. So I'm gonna have 10 videos. So I've got one more after this, obviously, but they've kind of all pointed towards the general perspectives, the different perspectives that veterans have as they get out of the military, whether it's challenging our own identity, our self, then there's this facing the different environment that we jump into, then we challenge our self-worth and we go through self-hate, self-love, we go through different things. Obviously the previous videos will obviously mention all of that. So today is self-care. Now, psychologically, when we are challenged in a more negative mindset, we tend to just feel fatigued. We feel less ambitious to take a shower, or we feel less ambitious we just have no inclination, no energy to even brush our teeth. And there's some people who we just have a poor hygiene. We have of course, self-care is regarding anything beyond just hygiene, as far as like being able to eat. Of course, when you're super stressed, you're either craving sweets or you don't eat at all. I know there's been times where I felt like I was in a severe depression, going towards that deep end, and I just stopped eating. I didn't eat for 3 days, and one of my battle buddies was like, "Hey, you kind of need to eat." But that was when I was in. So when I got out, I felt like I was alone, and there was a lot of roller coaster rides when it came to figuring out who I was. Was I worth living for? I just didn't see a purpose anymore. And so self-care is challenging because we lose that sense of accountability of other people, especially if we were leaders taking care of soldiers or other people. So when we lose that, there's that mindset where it's like, oh, I got to take care of myself. Well, I'm inferior because you always took care of others first. And I've seen actually other veterans here on TikTok describing that mindset was that we do have to take care of ourselves too. And then you get those other motivational stories regarding, well, you can't pour from an empty cup. You gotta actually take care of yourself first. And then you're on a plane. Hey, you need to put the mask on for you first, and then you can help the one next to you, whether you know them or not. And it kind of parallels that same mindset in that aspect that we have to take care of ourselves. Sometimes people are gonna come in and check on us. Hey, did you eat today? When's the last time you drank water? I mean, every veteran does have their own story. Some veterans come home to families, they come home to friends, so it takes a little time, but there is an equilibrium that kind of sort of eventually balances itself out. But a lot of us, we're alone. I lived out of my truck for a short time right out of the Army in 2012 and into 13, and I did not care about me. I did not care. I couldn't afford to eat. I was lucky to eat peanut butter and crackers. That became my go-to. It was a very challenging time, but I had jumped into school. I was going through a very horrific divorce. But self-care is not necessarily number one. So when people outside looking in, when people question why are veterans this or that way, because we've developed stereotypes, whether it's because, oh, most of them do have the facial hair now, because that was something we couldn't exactly have in a lot of cases, in most cases. So yeah, that's become definitely a thing. My husband's one of them. So there's that different mindset of what we're able to do now. We don't have to, well, men don't have to shave now, or we don't have to dress a certain way. We don't have that particular uniform unless we work somewhere that actually has a uniform. And so our different mindset of how to care for ourselves kind of goes hand in hand with the identity thing. Who do I identify as now? I'm not a soldier or Marine. I'm not a service member anymore, so I'm a civilian. Well, what kind of civilian am I? Well, we're already challenging our self-worth and our sense of purpose, our next direction, the next mission. What environment did I just jump into? Am I back where everyone's doing drugs and things they shouldn't? Or did I jump into an environment where nobody knows me? Did I jump into an environment that's upbeat and more positive? Like, it really depends on all of these variables, which is what the Self series is trying to point out, that you can't just look at a veteran situation and obviously their medical situation is obviously a very big variable, but everything kind of goes hand in hand. The self-worth, the sense of purpose, the identity, the environment we just jumped in on. Do we hate ourselves? Are we challenging that we even like ourselves at all? All of these things can also linger. Am I pitying myself? Am I going to have a pity party? Am I going to fall into depression? Am I going to keep being positive? And then, of course, you have all those other outliers of life happening at the same time, whether it's politics, whether it's school, whether it's family, whether it's, oh, everyone's got soccer practice now, so that's your focus is everywhere. So all of that also puts pressure on the internal fight going on, whether it's we're fighting ourselves, the one in the mirror. Am I a good person? Am I worth living for? Am I gonna stand up for the person next to me? Am I doing everything right? Because some of us, we tend to get really hard on ourselves. We miss the military, or we don't. We don't like where we are. We would rather be back in. There's so many different perspectives, and this is why I encourage you, especially fellow veterans, to, I guess, be open-minded to a more fair perspective when you're handling someone who's not in a stable state of mind. Obviously, there are some severe cases where a professional is needed, but oftentimes just simply encouraging someone to keep moving forward, point out the positive sides of what's going good in their life, keep encouraging people. And this will also kind of turn into, okay, I may not know who I am, but we're going to take a shower today. We're going to do something that's going to benefit us in the long run. Okay, maybe I will go to school, or I will go start my business. I will actually go to work. There's different aspects of what self-care can entail, but of course every veteran's going to be different, and there are different severities, there are different levels. Everyone's going through a phase of their healing journey, as you hear me repeatedly say. That transition process I usually describe as kind of a mourning process or a healing journey. Some people grasp onto something like PT, obviously. Working out or going to a run, yoga is very beneficial, absolutely, 110%. But then there's other people who just kind of turn to focusing on starting a business or family oriented or whatever. But everyone has all these variables going on, so we can't just put everyone into the same cookie cutter. Veterans need mercy, and we need to give each other mercy too. Okay, they didn't deploy. Hear them out. There are other terrible things going on in this world besides war. Keep fighting the fight today.